We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
A new vice presidential candidate, another Biden gaffe, Fetterman stands up to the Democrats, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lupkin, and here's the news you need to know. Presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. welcomed attorney, tech entrepreneur, and philanthropist Nicole Shanahan to the Kennedy campaign as his vice presidential running mate during an event in Oakland, California. Raised on welfare in a single-parent household in Oakland, the daughter of Chinese immigrants, Shanahan went from a successful career as a patent attorney and entrepreneur to marrying into uber wealth after meeting Google co-founder Sergey Brin at a yoga festival. The two divorced in 2022. Kennedy introduced his running mate enthusiastically, describing how he wanted a VP who will speak for millennials and Gen Z, someone who cares about healing our children, protecting our environment, restoring our soils, and getting the chemicals out of our food, and who understands how technology will either enslave us or give us a path back to freedom and prosperity. A safety investigation into the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse in Baltimore will include whether contaminated fuel was a factor in a cargo ship losing power and crashing into the bridge. The collapse of the bridge in Baltimore, which killed 6 people, will have a heavy impact on the local economy, but the ripple effect on the wider U.S. economy likely will be minimal. The bridge, which carried Interstate 695, crumbled into the Patapsco River after being struck by a large container ship in the early hours of Tuesday morning. 6 people, thought to be members of a construction crew working on repairs, are still missing. Vessel traffic into and out of the Port of Baltimore has been suspended until further notice, officials said. But the Port Administration noted that the Port of Baltimore isn't fully closed and that trucks were being processed within the marine terminals. The Port of Baltimore is one of the busiest in the U.S. when measured by 20-foot equivalent unit volume. That volume was up by 4.9% last year, making Baltimore the only major U.S. port to see activity gains from the highs recorded nationwide in 2022, according to the latest ports report from Savills. The port is ranked as number 17 in volume by total tonnage, according to the latest available data from the Bureau of Transportation Statistics. And the port's shipping operations lean heavily towards autos, farm equipment, and imported gypsum. Meanwhile, President Biden showcased his fragility with yet another gaffe. During a press conference Tuesday about the bridge collapse, Biden told reporters that he has been over the Francis Scott Key Bridge by train. At about 1:30, a container ship struck the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which I've been over many, many times commuting from the state of Delaware, either on a train or by car, the president said. The iconic bridge has never had any railway lines and has been exclusively used as a roadway since it was built in the early 1970s. According to the Maryland Transportation Authority, the Francis Scott Key Bridge opened in March 1977 as the final link to Interstate 695. Senator John Fetterman, the Democrat from Pennsylvania, lashed out at Vice President Kamala Harris for suggesting that the U.S. could impose consequences on Israel if the country moves forward with an invasion of Rafah. Fetterman made the statement on X in reaction to an interview Harris gave with ABC News on Sunday. She stated that it would be a huge mistake for Israel to carry out an offensive without U.S. approval. Hard disagree, Fetterman wrote in response. Israel has the right to prosecute Hamas to surrender or to be eliminated. Hamas owns every innocent death for their cowardice hiding behind Palestinian lives, he added. Fetterman has emerged as one of Israel's staunchest allies in the Senate in the wake of the October 7th massacre. NBC News has officially terminated its short-lived relationship with former RNC chair Ronna McDaniel, according to a memo sent to the staff by the network's boss. There is no doubt that the last several days have been difficult for the news group, NBC Universal News Group chairman Cesar Conde said Tuesday in the memo. After listening to the legitimate concerns of many of you, I have decided that Ronna McDaniel will not be an NBC News contributor. A network insider stated there was virtually no way out of this situation but to reverse the decision. They added that while MSNBC figures led the protest, it had the support of a lot of NBC staffers who thought McDaniel was unacceptable to the highly partisan network. McDonald's and Krispy Kreme are teaming up for a national expansion. Consumers will begin spotting Krispy Kreme donuts in their local McDonald's restaurants later this year as part of a phased market rollout across the country. Nationwide availability at participating restaurants is expected by the end of 2026. 3 of Krispy Kreme's most popular donuts, the original glazed, chocolate iced with sprinkles, and chocolate iced cream filled, will be delivered fresh to McDonald's restaurants every day. They'll be available individually or in boxes of 6, starting at breakfast and lasting throughout the day for as long as that day's supplies last. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.